Hello, welcome back to the Fit You podcast. My name is Dakota Phillips, and I'm the owner of Fit You Coaching, and I help people find fun and creative ways to reach their fitness goals. I'm joined by my wife, Savannah Phillips, and today we are going to be talking about our upcoming vacation. Do you want to run us through
Woohoo!
what we're going to be doing, Savannah?
We are trying to cram a lot of things into about a week and a half. We are driving from Wisconsin down to Florida. We're going to try to get in at least a day of diving, hanging out with some friends, possibly going into some theme parks. Then we have a 5-night cruise. We're going to go to the Dominican Republic and Grand Turk. Then we're going to try to hang out with more friends and see family. And then we have 2 days of driving back up to Wisconsin.
So, with all of that, there comes the planning and kind of how we're going to be making some active activities and some restful activities, getting some recovery in while still having fun because Savannah and I have a lot of fun being active. So we want to still do that, but not run ourselves into the ground and be so exhausted from a vacation that we need another vacation to recover. And then we're also going to talk about the dieting, the food, kind of how we're going to plan on eating and what that's going to look like for us, how that's going to kind of affect our goals or be a part of our goals. And we're going to talk about the stress of a vacation because although it's going to be fun, the planning can sometimes be stressful. And I'm sure somewhere along the line, something's not going to go quite according to plan and how we're going to plan on dealing with that stress. So, our first thing that we're talking about is the activities.
Yeah. So, like, activity for me on vacations is always like super easy because, like you said, we really love to be doing things. So, I mean, we more have to take the time to relax and rest on vacations. We'd rather just keep going. So, I think the mindset for us is more just like being intentional about what we do, and we don't have to do everything because we like to jam pack things.
Right. I think you're a little bit better about that than I am because, I mean, especially at Disney, whenever we go there, even when we lived there, we could go whenever we wanted to. But no matter what, if we walked in the park, I had to do everything, which is very similar to even like these vacations because it's like we're going down there for fun, but it's a vacation, so I have to have all of the fun. And having all of the fun could, like I said, it's just gonna you're run yourself into the ground and you're gonna be exhausted, and you want to be able to enjoy the things that you're trying to enjoy. So picking out some of those few things, like we've got some hikes planned, or that's on the cruise. We're doing a hike through some waterfalls. We're gonna meet some monkeys, and then hopefully we're gonna do some free diving. Maybe it'll turn into snorkeling or something like that, but definitely some sort of water activity. And then I'm sure there'll be some activities to do on the cruise too. But I think on the boat, we're planning on doing more of our relaxing.
We got some friends joining us
Mm-hmm.
that promised they would bring some board games. So
Yep.
that'll be our relaxing time.
Probably be spending some time in the sun. I know you're planning on reading some of your books. I'm going to bring some comic books to read. So that'll be kind of our rest and relax. And I suppose 2 days in a car is kind of relaxing, but also kind of not. It's a lot of sitting, but it's also not fun relaxing. But save our legs for when we're doing all the other stuff. And then we're going to do some diving on our way down there. We're going to be stopping at some springs, hopefully. We're both free dive certified, so I guess that's kind of a good thing to. We're not doing diving board flips and things. We're holding our breath, going down, hopefully seeing some wildlife. Hopefully no sharks, no alligators, but
Yeah. And we just got some new free diving equipment for Christmas. So I'm really excited to try all that out and get some good practice in.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. I feel like the activity part on vacation is never a problem for us. It's like super easy to get up and do things. And even like, I mean, I feel like I'm at least decent about a little bit of relaxing. You definitely just want to go, go, go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think we always talk about the example from like when we did take your family to Disney, and like I scheduled in a rest day, and then during the rest day, you were just like so antsy all day. You were like, we
Yes.
need to be doing something. And your family was like, oh, we're suntanning by the pool. That is the plan.
Right. And then comparing that relaxing day to like all of our other Disney days where we were just constantly going from ride to ride, show, ride, I was feeling like I was not fitting in enough into their vacation when really all they wanted to do was relax for a day because I was running them into the ground. And they probably enjoyed that vacation a lot more because they had that resting day.
Yeah.
And they weren't on my schedule of go, go, go.
So I think it really just comes down to like have the mindset for what you want to do, and like don't judge yourself for it. If you're the person that wants to hang out on the cruise ship every day and suntan by the pool, that's cool. Try to get up and do something, but if your vacation is more on the resting side, that's totally fine. It's just, try to find a little bit of a balance like we're trying to do in the opposite direction.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because there's some vacations that you're just going strictly to a spa. The goal is to relax and rest and recover as much as possible. And then there's other much more active things where you're going to go do big giant hikes around national parks, trying to get in tons of miles a day. Maybe even going to like a fitness retreat, because I know they've had cruises where it was like CrossFit centered, where they brought in a bunch of people and they did like workouts every day, all day long. So yeah, there's two different kinds, or there's, I guess, lots of different kinds of ways to do your vacation. And we're going a little bit more on the active side, but still trying to get in some recovery because, yeah, we both need a little bit of a break too.
Mm-hmm. So I really want to talk about the food piece because that's definitely like on the activity side, I'm like so proud of us. Like we're such active people. That's awesome. Like just makes it easier that we enjoy that. On the food side, we really love junk food.
We do.
So that side of it is definitely the piece of the vacation why I have to work to not judge myself. And also with the new lifestyle diet that I've been trying to learn more and I guess stick to better and better. It's kind of a process to figure it out, but right now I'm trying a cycle syncing diet for some hormonal issues. So there's different things that I'm trying to cut out or at least eat less of, like gluten and dairy, and certain veggies that I'm trying to get in on the daily or at different points in my cycle. So that going into a vacation is a little bit intimidating for me. Because I know I'm not going to be nearly as clean. So I think my goal in that respect, knowing that like I'm going to indulge, I'm going to enjoy, but I don't want to indulge and not get any of the nutrients I need. So I'm going to try to get some of what I need, but then not like restrict myself from the other things that I also want.
Mm-hmm. Because you also know you're doing this based off of like feeling, because when you eat some of those like more high sugar, a lot of gluten, lots of dairy, you know how that ends up making you feel afterwards. And you're wanting to try to avoid that and still feel like good and fresh and be able to do all those things you want to do on the cruise and the whole vacation and not be stuck in pain.
Yeah, definitely. Because with my hormonal issues, if I eat wrong, I definitely end up with a lot more pain in my body. So I think it's definitely interesting now that I've been on this diet long enough going into a vacation, whereas like when we went to Hawaii, I was like 2 weeks into this and I was like, I hardly know anything. Like I'm not even going to try. But now that I've had like, what is it now? 6 months that I've been getting used to all of this, I actually feel like I am starting to eat and understand how my body's reacting to things. And I do. And that's why my goal is to like keep getting nutrients even when I indulge. Because I feel like my biggest problem is like, if I do indulge, I will like replace what I need to eat with that. And then I feel way worse.
Right.
So I'm kind of excited to go into a vacation for the first time. Like feeling like I might actually be able to like choose what will help me feel better for the next day and like still enjoy myself.
Right. And I think you've been doing a really good job of finding that balance, because even though, like you said, you want to still eat those fun foods that maybe aren't the most healthy, but then you still make sure that you're not eating so much of those foods that there's no room for the good foods. Because like the other day when we had pizza, you still made sure that you got your Brussels sprouts in, because that leafy green was going to be what helped you feel better in the long run. You still got the
Still got to
fun,
cheat.
exactly. You still got the fun pizza, and you still had your Brussels sprouts, which I think is going to be super helpful. Like you kind of know that, like, oh, I'm having a lot of sugar here. I need to balance that out with something else, so that it's not an entire day of just sugar, which if we were left unchecked, we would probably happily just eat gummy worms and ice cream all day. But yeah, we're doing a much better job of getting in some balance. And I think that's what it's all about is, like, I mean, your diet and food may not be the same as what Savannah is eating. But even if you're still trying to get yourself on a healthier diet, finding that balance of, I'm going to eat the food that I want to eat that's good, that maybe isn't considered healthy, but you're still going to work and get some of your healthier foods in there. Like for our trip down there, we're going to make sure that we have some healthy snacks.
Yeah, we're going to pack healthy when we have more of the control over it on like the drive down and the drive back.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, then we'll give ourselves more grace when we're actually on the cruise.
Right.
And like food is definitely a big part of people vacationing. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a piece that like I hope that people go on vacation and enjoy themselves and come back and don't like continue to beat themselves up for that. So like one thing for me is that I know I already stocked some stuff in our freezer for when we come back. So if we don't go grocery shopping right away, I can like go back to those like feel good foods that I know are just going to like get me back on track. And then I can start feeling better immediately and like feel better mentally knowing that like I enjoyed myself and now I'm getting back to my good foods.
Mm-hmm. I think that's fun too, that you have your feel good foods stocked up, where I think most people would probably say, oh, my feel good foods are ice cream and macaroni and cheese and mashed potatoes. But you're probably talking more like sweet potatoes, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, things like that.
Yeah, I've got frozen fruit and all of the fixings for some good smoothies when I come back for the mornings.
Awesome. So moving on from our food, we'll talk about the stress, because although we're planning a super fun vacation, that planning portion can sometimes get stressful. So we have, I guess, one of the main ones is the financial aspects, because going on vacation usually costs money. I mean, going on a cruise, we're able to do it for kind of cheaper than what I guess a normal cruise would be, since everything's kind of getting back to normal. So it's
a
not
good
like,
time to cruise now financially.
right, exactly. I think it's kind of in that hurricane season, which is saying what we did for our honeymoon. We kind of went on, I think, with the tail end of hurricane season. So
There were some changes to the cruise, but we still had a great time.
exactly. So as long as you're willing to kind of go with the flow or the winds or whatever.
And I think that's a second piece. There's the planning beforehand, and then there's the stress of the expectations you have after you've planned, and then how the actual vacation goes. It's like the number one reason that like somebody blows up on a vacation is that they had their expectations for how something should go, and either the rest of the group isn't following, or weather doesn't cooperate, whatever it is, something gets canceled. So, and I think that's like definitely like something that I struggle with, because like the more that we plan for this vacation, the more I'm like, I'm going to be so upset if something falls through, because I've put so much time and effort into this.
Right. And I think it just kind of comes back to like, you have to be ready to adapt and still remember that we're on a fun vacation. And I think expecting some things to go awry, I mean, we're not necessarily expecting disappointment, because then you can never be disappointed. We just watched Spider-Man. But I think expecting things to shift and being able to adapt to those things is going to help you still be able to find those fun things, because on our first cruise that we went on, we ended up skipping a whole port stop, and we still had a good time. We weren't like, oh, the whole trip is ruined, we didn't get to go do this thing that we were planning on doing. You just roll with it, do the next fun thing, find something else that you're going to enjoy. I mean, we're trying to book a free diving excursion in Grand Turk, which is proving to be pretty difficult. We thought we found a place that we were going to go swim with humpback whales. We got super excited, found out they closed. Now we're trying to find somewhere else. Everywhere is scuba dive or snorkeling. We want to go deeper than snorkeling, not as deep as scuba diving. So we're kind of in a weird middle ground that is, like I said, proving difficult to find an excursion for. Worst case scenario, we're going to just go out on the reef ourselves, pretty close to shore, not too far from where we're stopping. Still get to do some cool sightseeing, but we may have to miss out on the humpback whales this time, come back again for another cruise in the future and do it again. So, I mean, that's one of the stressful aspects. Another one was planning how we're going to even get down there, because typically we fly to Florida for pretty cheap. It's like $100 per person round trip to fly.
We've gotten lucky a lot of times.
That's true.
We fly very small airports and
Right.
we make it work.
That's true. So I guess we are used to those cheaper flights.
But I feel like we weren't even expecting that cheap. But, you know, with gas prices right now, it's...
A lot of people are wanting to go on
pretty
their
bad.
vacations that they've been missing out on. So yeah, it was going to be like $1,000 or something to fly down there, and driving was going to be more cost effective, but then that's going to be a lot more time rather than just hopping on an airplane, 2-hour flight, get off, you're there. Now it's going to be a 2-day trip, which, like I said, takes more time, but also still being able to find the fun in the longer trip. Savannah and I are pretty good at long car rides. She usually reads Harry Potter. I get to listen because I enjoy driving. She doesn't enjoy driving. So
I'm the entertainment.
yeah, she's
and the
the
navigator.
So, and it's still a good time. The time goes by pretty quickly. And this will give us an opportunity to maybe free dive somewhere in north central Florida and get a little bit more time in the water. So finding those good things that may seem stressful at the beginning, you can find those silver linings and still have your fun through the stress.
For sure. Yeah. So I don't know. I kind of feel like the one piece I still wanted to talk about that I've kind of touched on is like coming back from the vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll probably do another talk after we come back about how we're feeling and getting back into things, because that's definitely a super big thing is you get back from a vacation and it's so easy to say like, oh man, I need a vacation from my vacation, and like, because it's hard to get back in the groove.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm already not looking forward to that. Coming home and you've got everything to unpack, laundry to do. We're going to be picking up our pup and getting back in a routine with her. There'll be a lot of changes.
Yeah. And like you said, though, you've got your food prepped up, ready to go. And yeah, I think coming back from any vacation, there's almost that like you're sad that the fun stuff is over. Now you have to get back to regular life. So yeah, it'll be interesting to hear kind of our return from vacation. This podcast will probably come out after we've already returned, but then we'll put out another one kind of talking about that return and how it feels to get like back to regular work, going back to coaching classes, going back into the office. Yeah, just doing those.
I just feel like
things.
I always feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Like I feel overwhelmed for like a couple of weeks because like you think like, oh, regular life again. But it's like as much time and energy as we're putting into planning and going, like we still have to kind of unravel all of that when we get back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that's something that's often overlooked, and kind of that extra additional stress piece, because you think like, oh, we got through the vacation, these stressful things happened, this changed and that changed, and we were able to roll through it, still had a good time. And then you forget that you have to get home, and you can't just like dump your suitcase and leave it there. I mean, you can, but if you're trying to keep an organized home, and
I try to do that.
yeah, and we do a pretty good job of it. Sometimes we leave things for a little while, but we do a good job of unpacking and everything, but it's kind of that forgotten step of like, yeah, now we've gotten back, we've got a ton of laundry to do, the vacation's over, and now you have to do a little bit of extra work on the back end to finish off the vacation. So.
Yeah, it's just another area of like those expectations that you might have for yourself. So like, don't expect to go back to normal life immediately.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to be on top of things immediately. I mean, most people come back to whatever job they're at and are backlogged on emails and work that they need to get through, and things don't feel normal at work for a little while. So don't expect the same from your personal life. Give yourself that leeway.
That's true. That brings up some extra thoughts of stress for me, because when we get back, I'm going to be very behind on our content scheduling and getting these podcasts out and the Instagrams and Facebook posts, and we'll get to it.
We'll give ourselves the grace.
Exactly. And you don't have to get, I mean, maybe some things you're on a deadline for, but like the second you walk in the door after your vacation, if you don't have the laundry going or getting yourself back to normal, you can take a second, enjoy the vacation, look at the pictures, have those fun memories, maybe relax, take a nap, and then do that stuff tomorrow, or, give yourself some time and then get to it. At least that's what I'm planning on doing.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to our vacation. It's going to be, we leave in a couple days, so it's going to be a stressful couple of days getting everything ready, but I feel like I just need to keep reminding myself that anything we forget will get worked out some way or another.
Exactly. We'll be able to roll with the changes. We're going to balance out our food. We're going to have activities. We're going to rest, relax. We're going to enjoy each other's company. We're going to enjoy the company of friends and family. And I think it's going to be a good vacation.
Yeah.
So kind of a different podcast for you all. Not specifically fitness, but with some fitness related in there, some food, some mindset thoughts. I don't know if you'd really want a coaching call after this. I may not be able to help you plan your vacation. Savannah might be able to help you plan your vacation.
I'm pretty good at planning vacations.
If you want to set up a coaching call and see what Savannah's opinions are on your vacation,
I'd love that.
Yeah, send me a link or send me a message and tell us what you're going to be doing. You can set up a coaching call at www.fitucoaching.com. You can send us a message on any of the social medias that you're listening. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to this podcast. Share it with your friends. If you're going on a vacation, let us know what it is and what kind of fun activities you're going to be doing. Resting, being active, what you're excited to eat, how you're going to balance everything out. So until next time, stay strong.
Bye.
That was the end of the Strong Collectors podcast.
Why did
I don't know. I didn't know what to say.
Stay strong.
Because it's the Strong Collectors podcast.
Well, yeah, you should have said, find what fits you.
I should have, but I might just edit that all out.
You're going to want to edit a lot of that out.